possibly the greatest of all time. Today, we're looking at the legendary Larry Bird.
When I go out and shoot around by myself, anywhere, before a game in the summer, I always try to start out about 15 foot from the basket and work my way around the perimeter just so I can get loose and then maybe go a little bit further out or a little bit closer.
He carried his college team to a championship.
I had some friends who I kept in contact with while I was still back here at Indiana State, and they never saw Indiana State or Larry Bird on TV. So because of the numbers that he would produce, they assumed that Larry Bird was a black player. And I thought, never thought of that, but they just thought that, a guy can do that kind of thing as far as score and rebound and dish out the assist, must be a black athlete.
All-American, we go to the finals, we lose to Michigan State. After the game, he tells me, oh, I need to go to the boys club, and I need to work out and shoot. I need to work on my game. Hey, we had a great year, man. What are you talking about? I'm going home and I'm going to brag. I'm not going to play any ball, but that's just the difference.
As a rookie, he took the Celtics to the conference finals.
I came in to the league. I played a small town. I did very well, and everybody always said, you didn't play against anybody. I went to Indiana State, same thing.
As a rookie, he led his team in points, rebounds, and steals while averaging 21 points, 10 rebounds, and 4.5 assists, shooting 47% from the field.
A favorite Larry Bird story?
Larry is such a unique personality. I don't have necessarily stories on him. What challenges me is I marvel at people who think the guy is a hick. Larry is one of the smartest, pragmatic people I know. And my mother, God rest her soul, was very bright. Coach Knight and Bill Russell are probably the two brightest people that I know. Larry is maybe right under that in that category. And when people keep talking about him being a hick, Larry understood what he understands as well as anybody is personalities and people. And that's why he would do his junk talking for airing here on radio, because he understood people who would let that bother them and what they would do when it bothered them. That's the way Larry, that was his gamesmanship.
Did he talk trash on the floor?
Oh, definitely. But, he always talked trash. I remember he talked trash against us, talked trash with against everyone else. But, the difference is he could back it up. He could back it up. I remember, like I was saying, growing up in Boston, people all used to always talking about that he can't jump, he can't do this, he can't do that. And, a lot of my friends was like that, So, I got to the league. I called all my friends back up. I said, all that trash that you were talking, you need to squash all that. This man is great. He can, whatever you were saying for a man who can't jump, he's demolishing everybody.
So your guys are saying, how can you let this guy?
Oh, he's doing it on everybody. He's doing it on everybody. He's doing it on the best defensive players in the league.
Yeah.
Even though the NBA had just introduced a three-point line that same season, Bird averaged almost 2 attempts per game and made 40% of them. In the 1986 finals, he was just a few rebounds and assists away from being the first player ever to average a triple-double in the finals.
What I try to do, just come out, get good rotation on the ball, get the backspin, try to get a good release, and I always focus my eyes on the rim.
I tell you, we went through a lot of battles together, and we won a lot of games. We won a lot of games on his IQ and on his toughness.
He was ridiculous. He came on here. I remember our sportscaster played the Superman theme when he was talking about him that night after the game, because he did everything,
Right.
Points, rebounds, assists, just steals, you name it. Larry has such a great mind for the game, and a great touch. I had a lot of respect for him as a competitor.
He is arguably the most clutch player in NBA history.
While his wars were with Magic, his battles were waged with the rest of the league.
It was a tie game. They had the ball, and DJ was stalling the basketball. And Larry was kind of standing outside behind him, like denying him the ball. And they called a timeout, and he turned around and looked at me and said, "I'm going to score right here on you." And I said, "I know you will. I'll be ready."
10 seconds. 5, and Bird has the basketball. Look out. 2 seconds on the clock, and timeout used by the Sonics.
And he shot a turnaround jump shot. And I just looked back, and the ball just went in, hit all net. And he said, "I told you so." Another time, it was when we was playing him. He had like 42. Kemp was a freshman. He told Sean Kemp that I'm the best player to ever come from Indiana and shot a three-pointer in his face, all net. We was like, Larry uses picks probably better than the players ever played the game. And Larry was on the box, and Robert Parrish was coming down to set a pick on me. The Chief didn't shoot, didn't throw a good pick. So while Larry's in the air, he's got the ball right here, and he's screaming at Chief for not setting the pick. And I'm like, you're screaming at a guy in the air for not setting the pick, and he makes the jumper. I'm like, I couldn't believe that.
MJ's Chicago Bulls were swept both times they met Larry Bird and the Boston Celtics in the playoffs. He was MVP 3 years in a row while only missing 3 regular season games and averaging 26 points, 10 rebounds, and almost 7 assists per game.
Let me ask you this. Is it fair for me to believe that even black fans, after a while, were perfectly willing to acknowledge that Larry Bird was the baddest white boy ever to shoot a basketball?
Oh, that's easy.
Okay.
Oh, that's easy. I mean, I can tell you right now, Larry Bird could walk. Literally in his heyday, he could walk into any black neighborhood in America. And they'd be like, "Hey, that's Larry Bird. Come on over," because he could ball. He could ball. And Dominique Wilkins, said it best, that's a bad boy.
He once scored 20 fourth-quarter points over Dominique Wilkins to seal a playoff victory.
Going against a guy with a competitive edge like you've never seen, and a guy that you couldn't make mistakes against because he would find a way to hurt you.
And not only that, let's give Larry Bird profound respect. When you could play, first of all, when Larry Bird sat up there and said he didn't see color, I want everybody to know it was truly believable in the black community. Everybody looked at him. Oh, we believe that because Larry Bird didn't care. You could either play or you couldn't.
Even though Larry Bird is appreciated among NBA fans, some of his accomplishments have gone unnoticed.
He was one of the first stretch fours.
Right. Right. We sit there.
We talk about what's going on today. We talk about a guy who was 6'9", 6'10", playing the 4, shooting threes. That was unheard of back then.
My money, Larry Bird's the greatest big man in terms of shooting the ball ever. I take Larry Bird over Dirk Nowitzki because Dirk is a great shooter. Larry Bird was a break-your-heart shooter.
He averaged almost as many career rebounds as Shaquille O'Neal and more assists than Damian Lillard has so far in his career.
The age-old question is, Timmy, could he play in today's game, right? Because everybody now is bigger, stronger, faster, jumps higher. Is that true? Because I look at Larry Legend and I go, Larry Legend is a legend for a reason, and he can play in any era.
Well, I think his game would have had to adjust to the height, size, and athleticism of the games nowadays. But think about this. He would have torched a guy like Karl Anthony Towns. These young guys with his basketball IQ, he was a grown man. 3 years of college. Oh, and before that, we might have never knew about Larry Legend. He was hauling garbage. Started off in Bloomington at IU, didn't work out there, goes back home, contemplates ever playing again. The fact that he was a grown man against these 20-something-year-old kids, he would have had his way.
As a caveat growing up, I hated Larry Bird. I was a Sixers guy and Julius Erving. But damn, did you respect the hell out of the guy. Because it just seemed like, he's slower than everybody else. He can't jump. And yet he'd always seem to be open, always seem to get the big rebound, and always seem to make the right pass.
Yeah, I think his basketball IQ is something that goes kind of under the radar. When you think about guys that really know how to play or teams that really know how to play, you know what those teams and guys do? They win.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Larry would have done. He would have kept on winning. The interesting thing was Larry growing up his whole life, no three-point line.
Nope.
Think about every court he played on. There was no three-point line. If he would have had that, sorry, Dave, mindset from the get-go,
I'm going to need a shot after hearing that.
he averaged 24 points a game over the course of his career. I think it would have been towards 27.
He was a 6'9" forward who averaged more points than Kyrie Irving has, with a better shooting percentage than DeMarcus Cousins, a center, and a better three-point shooting percentage than LeBron James or Michael Jordan. He has so many iconic moments, game winners, and performances.
You know, and Larry Bird would give it to you. And I'm going to tell you something else. When he got into that fight with Dr. J, folks in the black community weren't mad at him. They respected him for it because we found out why. We were like, oh, that's why he hit you? Oh, well, damn, Doc, something wrong with you. You should have stopped him. That's how we were thinking about it. We like, and we know we love Julius Erving, but you couldn't take anything away from Bird. Bird was a bad somebody.
Larry Bird was the baddest son of a gun on the planet.
And then we found out it's because Bird said, I'm going to hit this J right here. I'm going to come right here and I'm going to put this in your face right here. I'm going to do this to you. I'm going to do that to you. And then he did it. He was the bad man.
He was a somebody.
Long before Aaron Rodgers ever came along. He was the bad. Larry Bird was the truth. Ain't no question about that.
Bird's career was cut short because of injuries, but that didn't stop him from putting his name in the greatest of all time conversation.
And there hasn't been anything like him since either.
No. There's only one Larry Bird.
In the 1987 season, he became the founding member of the 50-40-90 club, and he did it again the following season. Not even Kobe, LeBron, or Jordan accomplished that. Not even once.
We will see other, American, Caucasian, I suppose, superstars. Eventually, we'll see more than one, Stephen A. Smith.
I'm not so sure.
Larry Bird said that there will be another Larry Bird one day. And Larry, there will never, ever, ever be another Larry Bird.